Yes, please go ahead. Okay, good morning, USA, Canada. Good afternoon in England, South Africa, Europe, and good evening in Asia, Pacific, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and great good evening in Australia. There are a lot of people from Australia who certainly join. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly Saturday series, hashtag Women Power, a global movement. Indeed, my honor to have with me this evening a very strong, versatile, dynamic guest of honor. Her name is Nivedita Dubey. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you, Nivedita.
Thank you, Bakshiji. Thank you so much. And thank you for that very, very kind, what you have introduced me, this introduction. Thank you very much for these very, very kind words.
I'm yet to introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce this great guest of honor to you. And then I will have my questions to her. And in the meanwhile, please keep raising your questions, whether you are on YouTube or Facebook or Global Talent Television, or you are on Zoom. Keep raising questions from your side, and I would facilitate the process of questioning our guest of honor. And those who are on Zoom certainly will have opportunity to ask questions themselves. I will certainly ensure you are unmuted and you can ask questions yourself. The intro of Nivedita Dubey is she is highly experienced aviation professional with around 25 years of diverse 25 years. She doesn't, her age and experience of 25 years seems to be definitely different, you know. Pankaj, where are you? 25 years of diverse experience from airside as well as to the terminal management to finally to the human resource, people management. She is an international airport professional accredited by the International Civil Aviation Organization and Airports Council International. She is also an accomplished trainer, having been trained in instructional competencies by the International Civil Aviation Organization and Joint Aviation Authorities Training Organization. Wow. Nivedita started her career with Transport Corporation of India, Agarwal's, TCI.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
I know them very well. Okay, TCI. And after a brief stint, she moved on to a challenging assignment at the Airport Authority of India, where she is still there. It's a long innings. She served as an airport manager, so she has been into the operations management. Airport management at the Indira Gandhi International Airport, New Delhi, for about 7-8 years, handling terminal and airside management, which is a very tough job. It's not an easy job. She was also among the core team members during the setting up of airports, Economic Regulatory Authority, and leading the HR and IT matters. She served as an HR head for the Western region of Airport Authority of India, and presently, finally, she is serving as General Manager, Human Resources, at the corporate headquarters of International Airport Authority of India, handling critical functions such as industrial relations. She has done a lot of great work there. I also come from HR and human resources. I said I have very tough. I come from the manufacturing engineering background. Training and development and employee welfare, including medical, statutory compliances, etc. Nivedita is postgraduate in human resources and holds a certificate in computer programming. Wow. That's a fantastic background. Which university, which business school you studied HR?
I was all through in Allahabad University. My father was with the Services Selection Board. So he was
Oh,
posted in Allahabad. So I
oh,
did almost entire schooling from Allahabad.
fantastic. Now, Nivedita, now this hashtag women power, a global movement, 1 million women to be on this platform by 2024, a mad statement given by me sometime April 2020. Yes, after a couple of shows with Kiran ma'am, and Kiran ma'am is the first women power on this platform. Otherwise, also, she is the first women power of my country. And
Yes.
after my mom, I certainly consider her as the greatest woman power. My mom is the
Yeah,
first
she is
woman.
my role model too. She's my
Yeah.
role model.
So this is, we started in April, and I think we are now 11 months, and it's spread in 20 odd countries. And we have almost covered around 700,000 women around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, I can see Vasanta joining, my guy in global talent guy in Sri Lanka. He has also joined us. Welcome, Vasanta. Oh, I can see your Nivedita already there. Very great. And I can see on the Facebook already Deepak Kemal is there and John is there already. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start my questions and let's get going. Nivedita, during your student days, I am told you were, I am told that you were not that active. You were a little shy, but you picked up. I want to understand from you, how did you develop yourself to be such a fantastic professional with such great credentials? Who were the people who really brought you forward? And I'm coming closely to your parents, your father, your mom, and what were the issues and challenges you faced as a girl child? But even then, moving forward and taking your journey forward, would like to know more about your parents, your upbringing as a child, and becoming someone we all feel proud of today.
Okay. So, Mr. Bakshi, I belong to Jammu and Kashmir, as you know. My father is a psychologist, and he was working with the services selection board. So that is the board which selects the Army, Navy, and Air Force officers. So all through he was posted in Allahabad. He's a man of great academic interest and vision in life. He never made me feel that I am a girl child. I was brought up with the feeling that I am a child. I was never made to feel as if I'm a girl child. So whatever treatment was given to my brother, the same treatment was given to me. Whatever aspirations were into him, the same were instilled into me. So I would credit my father and my mother for giving me these wings, and the spirit to grow in life. I till date I never feel that a woman has anything lacking as compared to a man, because it was never taught to me right from the beginning. And I was the middle child in my family. My elder brother is in the armed forces, is a serving major general right now. I lost my younger sister, unfortunately, but it was a very, very close knit family. And all the values that I learned were from my parents and my brother and sister, whatever I learned in life. And what you said right now is true. I was a very shy child when I was young, very, very shy. I was in a clustered environment, I would say. I was put in a convent school, and it was an all girls school. So more focus was on the moral education and more on the academics than the extracurricular activities. But as I grew in life, and as I progressed in life, I realized that this is one area which I want to improve upon in my life. If I want to excel in my life, I need to overcome my shyness and my fears. And fortunately, my husband supported me right through. And he has been another very, very solid factor which has brought about a transformation in my personality.
Fascinating. Yeah, I know Pankaj, and Pankaj is not probably mentoring you. He has mentored many people in the companies he worked, and I know him last 20 odd years, yes, more than 20 years. And I know the way, the style, and agility of this great man, a wonderful, well known CEO of our country. I feel personally proud of him, and I personally learn a lot from Pankaj. And we have had a lot of interactions, done programs at his company where he worked. We have gone to a couple of universities together on a retreat model. So he has been coming on my public programs regularly. So he has been one of a great friends
Yeah, and
around.
yeah, he has that golden touch to transform people. And I was
Yeah,
also fortunate to have a number of bosses who were so mentoring, and
that's what.
so they always had the faith in me to give me assignments or to give me opportunities to grow. And I was always receptive to take up those opportunities and improve upon myself. So this is how I reached the where I've reached.
Let's know who mentored you in your professional capabilities to be what you are today. Who were the people who mentored you to build up your professional strength and professional capabilities? Who were those people?
So again, Mr. Bakshi, I would say that it is not one individual that I could name who has mentored me. Right through from the beginning, when I first landed in Airports Authority of India, I would start from Transport Corporation of India. So when I joined Transport Corporation of India, my boss was the Vice President HR, Mr. Hemant Kumar. I learned so much from him. He was much elder to me in age. He was very, very senior. And I was just a management trainee with him. But he had so much faith me that he used to give me very, very challenging assignments. During the 4 or 5 months that I worked with him, I learned a lot. I could identify few of my strengths which I was not knowing. My boss told me those are my strengths. So he is one person who mentored me. Then after that, I joined Airports Authority of India. It was an operations job. It was a totally male-dominated field. Operations at that point of time, not many women were there in the airport operations. It was a very challenging job, and very new women were new to that field. There was a lot of resistance from a number of men who were posted there already. But again, I got very, very mentoring bosses. I got challenging roles there. One of the most challenging roles that I executed there was during the Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision. I was made in charge of the emergency control room. That is one of the very, very like interesting and challenging things that I did when I was posted at the airport as airport manager. So again, my boss over there, Mr. Shivakant Mishra, was a mentor. He taught me a lot over there. At home, again, my father and my brother, my brother and my husband, they have really contributed to my growth.
Fascinating to know about your father, of course, Pankaj, no doubt. And I remember this Hemant Kumar very well. We lost him. I don't know whether you know about it. He was a
No,
great
I
guy.
was not aware of that.
Yeah, he was a great guy. And later he joined Indorama based
Yeah,
out
he
of.
was in Indorama. Yeah.
And I knew him personally. Whenever I used to go to Mumbai, I would go and have at least breakfast with him. And very sad that he is no more. Very, very great guy. I was involved in TCI into a joint venture on behalf of CUNY Nagel, 1989-90. I was the director of Transport Corporation of India on behalf of
Oh,
CUNY,
okay.
and Buddha was sunk. I was just 28-year-old young
Right.
kid at that time, and I was actually the first corporate human resource manager for the country to set up Nagal in India, along with Transport Corporation of India, but then it did not work. ABC India, we call it, under TCI. Great. Great to know about your background from TCI and then finally landing at, Airport Authority of India. Now, tell me, how did you first land in Airport Authority? And I have another thing very important, that you joined Airport Authority in 2009, and we are still
No,
in
no. Bakshi ji, I joined Airports Authority in 1995.
1995.
I
Okay.
joined Airports Authority in 1995.
1995. Somewhere I got this information maybe it's wrong. But even 1995, and you have been there. So, what makes you to be a great example of taking up such a challenging role? How did you land taking this challenging role? As you rightly say, when you went to the operations, it's a totally men-dominated area.
Yes.
So we're hardly women getting into operations because it involved working at odd hours, typical challenges, difficult issues. How did you
Yes.
do this?
Well, just after passing out from my college, after completing my MBA, I got married in the same year, just after a couple of months after passing out. So we moved to Delhi and I started looking for jobs. I always wanted to work and make a name for myself. So I started looking for jobs. But fortunately or unfortunately, the first two jobs that I landed were not to my liking. So I quit those jobs in just maybe 1 month each job, 1 month, 1.5 months. I started questioning myself as if maybe there's something wrong with me. I'm quitting all jobs that I joining. Then I landed the TCI job. So it used to happen that whatever like placement consultants I used to approach, they used to offer me jobs, and I used to end up, taking up that offer, and then I used to not be happy about it. Not to my liking, maybe. My likes and dislikes were different. My strengths were different. So then I landed this job in TCI and I was quite comfortable and happy with that. Meanwhile, also I applied for the Airports Authority of India job. It was an operations job and it was also an HR job. There were two posts. By the time when the written exam date came near, I was so much comfortable in my TCI job that I didn't want to go for the written exam. So my husband pushed me into it. I told him I lost my admit card. He made me search for the admit card. And he said, nothing doing, you have to go for your exam because you've applied for it and you better go and give the exam. So I went and appeared for the exam and I got a very good ranking in the merit. I was at number 2 all India rank. So that is how I landed this job. And once I got that offer, I just realized that like this is the kind of job I was looking for. The challenge, the glamour, the position. This was the kind of job I was looking for.
Very great. Yeah, so these are some of the steps, ladies and gentlemen who are watching it now, and women making a difference in a men dominated area. In the Operation Excellence, that too in Airport Authority of India. And Airport Authority of India is an ocean. And today, probably 20,000 plus employees. And our guest of honor takes care of 20,000 plus employees. My God, that's a big role. I
Plus
want
plus 10,000 plus 10,000 contract employees as well.
question. So total 30,000 employees.
That's
My
a
God, that's phenomenally a very big. That's like a small town in an England English village or somewhere in Europe in Spain. There could be a one small town of 30,000 people, and here is one lady covering 30,000 people in one company. Amazing experience. Yeah, Yon from Michigan is watching you. Yes, and Jennifer from Malaysia. Yes, yes. Rashi Khanna. Oh, again, a well-known name. Rashi does a lot of great work herself. She has joined. Oh, Shefali Singal, our Women Power Noida. She is already watching you this program, and I can see. Oh, Dr. S.K. Gupta, my friend from Washington, D.C. My God, 40 years in Washington, D.C. He is there. And Reema Nakra, she is again a very well known name. This Reema Nakra does a lot of great work. She has also joined on Facebook. Yes, Dr. Gupta, as always, another legendary personality this morning. Yes, Dr. Gupta, good morning to you. I know it's early morning for you in Washington, D.C. Yes, he is writing. Wow, as always, another legendary personality this morning. Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining. And I see your lovely pictures coming these days, including lovely cuisine, Indian cuisine you are sharing on the Facebook. A great friend of ours, Dr. S.K. Gupta, 40 years in one place, Washington, D.C. एक एक बच्चा उनको जानता है and he is always there even if the prime minister of the country comes, even the finance minister goes, anybody goes, he is there always available and well known in embassy with ambassador, whether Harish Shringla was there or our present ambassador is there. He's a great man. Yeah, so that is how I can see Kuldeep Khanango has joined. Okay, Sharmila has joined. Yeah, Vasanta from Colombo, global talent face in Sri Lanka, he is there. I can see Abhishek Kapla join. I can see Mr. D and Dogra join. Is he your father?
Yeah, he's my father.
Oh, wow. Namaskar Ji with folded hands. I am talking to someone whom I admire, not only Nivedita, I admire her husband Pankaj, especially very well. And of course, two lovely daughters. One of the daughters I met in Toronto in 2019, she was there. So we had a cup of coffee somewhere on a Starbucks. And the other one, I meet her through D-Spin meetings regularly. Nivedita, I am told that when in your journey of excellence at airport authority, in various roles you played in human resources, but then you were pushed into a very critical and a very tough role, which is industrial relations. I come from a background of personal management, industrial
Yeah, you
relations,
shared with me. Yes.
human resources. And I know what IR is. Of course, I come from a manufacturing and engineering background. I have not worked in a company like Authority and airports and all that. But I'm, oh, where's your backdrop? Oh, your backdrop is gone. Can you set your backdrop
One
again?
second. One second. One second. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see you, but I cannot see your backdrop.
I'll have to put it back.
Your backdrop is gone somewhere.
Missing. One second. Some issue with that.
Oh. You can go to this button.
I'll just do it. One second.
Nivedita is not there. Yeah, this, what is that? Your daughter. Ishani.
Ishani, I think she would have logged in from somewhere.
Is there somebody to support you?
Yeah. As usual, your good friend is there to support me, as always.
Great guy. Okay. Oh, yes, we got it. Fantastic. Nivedita, now I am told that you finally got into industrial relations by whatever way. I would not like to get into that. It's a very tough role. It's a very difficult. And it's not easy for a normal HR person to do it. And frankly speaking, and I am making this statement on a social media today when I meet HR directors today, and I see them shaky on the industrial relations, and I feel very upset. They don't have a strong base. And in case someone has to become a great HR leader, a great CHRO, must work on industrial relations. Now tell me, when you were pushed, thrown, or whatever way into this role, how did you manage? What did you do? How was that fish in the water trying to save herself? And that too again, male dominated, tough.
Very male dominated. Well, I
So,
would say I was not pushed into it. I would say I was picked for this assignment.
okay.
Yeah. So when I was posted in Mumbai, I was handling the regional office and I was heading the HR function for around 28 airports in the Western region. There was a lot of union activity there. And I was somehow able to excel over there by controlling all the union activity. There was a lot of unrest. The Nagpur airport had just got privatized. Redeployment issues were there, but I was able to handle it well. So probably my management thought that I am one person who's able to handle the industrial relations. I'm able to handle the unions, the associations, the employee forums. So by the time when I was transferred back to corporate headquarters, this assignment was already, assigned to me even before I joined back at headquarters. So yes, it is a very challenging assignment. It requires a lot of negotiation skills. It requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of resilience and rigidity at the same time. You have to have the knack of recognizing where to be rigid, where to be resilient, where to adjust, where to be, firm. So industrial relations, managing industrial relations, a mix of both. And as long as a person, the IR person, is able to understand the needs of the employee leaders or the representatives of the employees and the officers, and it is you're able to match them with the organizational needs, you are effective as an IR man. So it is all about translating the requirements from the employee side to the management side, from the management side to the employee side, and that can happen only if you have a good and sound academic background. You have to know the provisions in the rules and the acts. You have to know what are the judgments that are being passed. It is a dynamic field. You have to keep abreast of the developments which are taking place in the labor world.
Fantastic. Wow, I can see Vandana Puri has joined. Hey, Vandana, how are you? Long time. I know her from IMA days when I used to do my public program in India, Roadmap to Success. Yesterday, I was talking to Sujita Kemka, and all these people have been of great support. They have added a lot of value to me. And I used to conduct this program when Vandana was there in 97, 98, way back before leaving the country. A lot of people have joined. Great, you talked about industrialization. Now, ladies and gentlemen who are watching now or who are going to be watching later, how easy this wonderful woman from Jammu, from my hometown, made it so powerful that she said it's very easy to, put things together, become a bridge between the two. It is not that easy. It's not that easy. It's very tough. It's very tough. But the way she responded, that means she had feet on ground. She was mentored very well to be humble as well as to be assertive sometimes that I are. So you
I
cannot be
would
on.
say, Mr. Bakshi, initially I did face a lot of challenges. The first couple or two of the meetings that I attended as heading the IR, the first thing that we had to do was hold the referendum, the union referendum, and that is one of the toughest things to do, especially at organization like Airports Authority of India, where the employee strength is huge and the locations are like spread over. And we were dealing with the litigation in which the court had advised us to involve the chief labor commissioner, and we had this labor commissioner who was appointed as the returning officer for the polling, and our unions started misbehaving. The representatives, they started misbehaving in the very first meeting. It was in that meeting that I made my mark. The way I asserted and I said the things right in the very first meeting, then people understood that even though she's a lady, but she means business.
I can see Shrirupa Banerjee already there. She joins a lot of women power programs. Shrirupa, I feel proud of you. Yeah, very easy you talked about. It's not that easy. I still believe in it. It's tough. But that means in case you have a right background, you have a right education, and you know how to deal with difficult situations, which is a major challenge so far as managers and leaders face in their roles. And
See,
they come to the
Bakshi,
interview because they are not groomed properly. Yeah.
so what I would say is that initially the first 2-3 times that I went to the labor commissioner's office, it was very, very like I used to feel strange because I used to be the only woman in the entire building, maybe. All male men, or the labor is all men, the labor commissioner is a male. Then I used to feel like out of place. And then I realized it's not out of place. It is the way, you can make more lasting impression. Then I started going there with more confidence, with more knowledge in my background, more study, and I was able to make my mark.
Wow, Nivedita, feeling proud of you, Nivedita.
Thank you.
Nivedita, now what are your professional pursuits? Now it seems you have excelled all the areas, all the roles you played. People do talk about you at Airport Authority. What makes you different? What is your USP as a professional? You are very strong in your professional capabilities and deliverability, more important than the capabilities. And you are able to deliver what is required and to go to the next level of excellence. So, what is that makes Nivedita Dubey someone you feel yourself proud? And I'm not saying it should go to the intoxicating situation. It should be a positive pride of your personality. And what makes you different? What's your USP?
So first and foremost, I would say empathy.
Wow.
Being an HR person, empathy is the very, very first and the most important and fundamental requirements of being a good HR person. If I'm not able to understand the needs and requirements, the problem of the people that I'm dealing with, then I'm not an effective HR person. So whatever relationships I build in office, like the networks, relationships, it is all on a one-to-one basis. I tend to understand the problem of each and every person, be it an employee or be it an employee group or a representing, some forum. Everything I have to understand their problems. I have to think from their perspective. And if I have a different perspective, I try to explain my perspective to them in a tone or in a way in which they can understand.
Wow.
So that is the most important one. Apart from that, then commitment towards my job. If I
Wow.
take up an assignment, I make sure that I do it, I deliver, I work hard for that. So these are the 2 3 things that I think what makes a person different from the others.
You're talking very right. In fact, the role of an HR leader is empathize, empathize, empathize. And of course, as a leader, to show the commitment, drive commitment, so that people can follow you and people can learn from your, commitment drive. I can see Professor Rajendra Charat from Pune. He's the director of a business school. He is already on board and he is also watching what's going on. Nivedita, now, as a busy professional, you have been, and your hubby has been again a very busy professional, very strong, highly committed, highly talented, highly committed. And he only does not do office work, he does a lot of networking like me. He's mad about connecting to people. Now, both of you, strong professionals, both of you, strong commitments, both of you, somewhere you away from him to Lucknow, and he travels a lot and he is busy a lot. How do you manage? And this is very important for women power. We're watching now, or we're going to be watching later. How do you make your professional pursuits successful, leading to next level of excellence, at the same time enhancing your life balance between personal and professional goals? How do you do that? And what makes you different when your hubby, who's at a very senior position, you yourself into highly committed job? How do you manage this? Let's learn from you today. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, let's learn how this young, bright lady who has excelled in the field of human resources and industrial relations, and her husband is again a well-known CEO of the country, and they still maintain their professional pursuits as well as their personal life, and being away also from different places of work. Yes.
So like all working women would identify with this kind of situation of trying to strike a work life balance or to balance the family life and the professional life. So for that, first and foremost, you have to have a good network. So network doesn't mean you're only the office network, it is the personal network. Like for me, my the strongest pillar of strength in my family has been my parents, who have always ensured that I don't have to worry about anything, about bringing up my children or helping with the homework or anything, because my parents, my mother and my father used to take care of everything. So I was very, very fortunate that way. I'm blessed that they have been right through my pillars of strength. And I always, whenever people ask me, I always say that it is because of my parents that I have reached at this stage, because I never had to worry about anything. Then apart from that, I have a very good relationship or a synergy with my husband, Pankaj. So we make a great team. We complement each other in everything that we do. Like, you know him well, you've been talking about him. So if I have one strength, maybe I'm a good planner, he executes better. I write better, he speaks better. So it is like everything, we complement each other. So it is not that we are competing with each other. We know if I have less time, I am busy with an office commitment, he pitches in and takes care of the family. If he is busy with an office commitment, then I take over his responsibilities. And in our family, there is no such thing as a gender defined role. So I would appreciate my mother-in-law for bringing up her son in such a way that he does not have this feeling about having a gender defined role, that this is a woman's job, I will not do it. So if I am delayed in office, and if a child is studying at home and he needs something to eat, my husband can arrange it and give it to her. So there is no such thing as gender defined role. So there is no tension in my mind, or there is no tension in his mind. If he wants to concentrate on his job, he can do, because he knows my wife will take care. If I am concentrating on my job, he will take care. And because of this support system that I have got, I'm almost like very senior. Like, I've already put in 25 and more years of experience, but I'm still studying. Every year I take up a training or an education course which complements or enhances my skill set. And I spend a lot of my time, invest a lot of my time pursuing that. And that is possible only because my family supports me. Not only my parents or my husband, also my daughters. If they know that I'm studying and I'm appearing for an exam, they will never disturb me. They will rather take up my responsibilities. And so this is how I've been able to strike my work life balance, because of the family support.
Beautiful. I wish everyone has that kind of a partner in life and that kind of a support from the family. And we have seen in COVID days how tough, how difficult it has been, those who have been away from families, or where kids stay away and parents stay away. It has been tough. Now, I want to come to your leadership style. What is the kind of leadership style you have adopted as a professional working at Airport Authority of India? Can you give us three leadership styles which you adopted and you became successful? It can be good to know about your leadership styles. What are those three key leadership styles which you have adopted in your life? In the meanwhile, I can see Virender Cole from Mauritius has already joined, watching you, Nivedita. People are joining and talking about what's going on right now. So tell me about your three key leadership styles.
Well, I would say my leadership style is basically the transformational leadership style, because I invest a lot of my time mentoring the people who work under me, developing them, and building personal bonds with all my team members. So I am basically involved in the personal lives, on the personal issues of each of my team members. And because I am involved in their lives and their problems, so I am able to address them as well. And because I'm able to address their problems, they are able to contribute much better. But at the same time, I am assertive as a boss as far as the productivity is concerned. So it is not that because I have a personal relationship, or I indulge them, giving them off or on their birthdays or their anniversaries, or looking after them when they are in trouble. But they know they have to perform. So without my telling them, at odd hours they will perform, they will do their jobs to the perfection. I have a beautiful team. All my team members perform very well. Even during these times when people were working from home, some of the employees were affected by COVID themselves, or their family members were down with COVID, but still they were here somehow or the other, still continuing to contribute to the team efforts.
Very great. You have a beautiful team. There's nothing without team. Together, everyone achieves more. And I am of the promoter of one dream, one team concept. And without team, you cannot do things. Now, let me come to the COVID days. Now, COVID has been very tough, very turbulent. We call it VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Let me not talk about first wave, but I talk about first wave. Somehow India was very clear in terms of managing it well. Now come to the second wave of 2021. last 8 weeks, painful, stress, strain, our some of close friends, classmates, relatives, kids and kins even got lost. Young people, our country has gone through a major disaster, turbulence of life, and I think we are now hopefully at the fag. What is your thinking about leadership in crisis? What could leaders do differently? And when I talk about leaders, I do talk about political leaders, community leaders, and corporate leaders. What could be done differently? Do you have one or two areas which you can talk, which could give some messages to business leaders, to community leaders, to political leaders? Hey, in case you would have done it differently, probably we would have not gone into such a strange case.
Well, I feel the business environment is definitely now changed. A lot of losses have occurred. That it is no more the same. All said and done, the environment is no more the same. But at the same time, our workforce is also not the same. The people who used to happily come to work, most of them are having some kind of issue or the other, either by way of losing a family member, or losing a spouse, or losing another source of income maybe. So the business leaders or the team leaders have to be aware of the issues that their teams are facing, and also they have to be aware of the changing market situations. So the focus should be now on building an agile team with this background in mind, that we are dealing with human beings. They have emotions. We cannot think that just because we want to get back to the business, the entire thing will change. We have to keep in mind the issues that those individuals, those human beings are facing on the personal front as well, and address them.
Very great. And when you talk about, agility, so that means a lot of changes in the skill sets of what
Yes.
was skill set available in 2020 February is no more valid in May 2021 and may not be valid in January 2022. So do you see that people are upskilling and reskilling themselves a lot in COVID
Yes,
days?
yes, people are doing that. If I compare with my own teams or but the people in Airports Authority of India, we were all doing working on paper files. We were working like that, and the moment the lockdown and everything happened, we shifted to e-office. And my entire I had the training and development division at the corporate headquarters level, and all our focus became to focus on all our trainings were focused on the moving to the virtual mode or the e-office mode and the wellness programs. So that is how at the one end we are teaching them new skill of working on the portals, and at the other end we know that they are facing personal issues and facing stress. So we subject them to stress management programs or the wellness programs. So this is how we have been dealing with our teams during these stressful times.
I have a question here because I belong to the community. I believe more on the fine dining, I call it, training programs, not this fast food training programs online. I also do online training programs, but I somehow feel the fast dining is much better. Do you see once we move out of this, so people would really jump into fast food, a proper sit down training programs, because people are fed up now with this online training. What do you see future of learning and development?
I would say it would depend from organization to organization. There, the finances also are one of the constraints which have now cropped up for most of the organizations. So, how much of the budget would go for the training and development activities, the more intensive ones, will depend on the money that is available with the organization, I'm sure.
But at the same time, skilling and upskilling and reskilling is going to be the major issue for the corporates.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's also true. That is how the and a balance has to be struck between the two, the requirement and the expenses.
Okay, during COVID days now, I understand that Nivedita, you got another mission in Airport Authority of India. 20,000 plus employees where you are heading the medical. what kind of work you are doing right now, what kind of challenge you have to ensure that your employees are healthy and get back to normal. What are you doing? Can I know about it?
Uh, the moment the surge of cases started happening, the first initial thing is that we have a number of hospitals on panel. We were comfortable with it that yes, our employees are safe. We are paying for their medical expenses. But that was not to be, because the critical shortage of hospital beds and oxygen and everything started affecting our employees. So the first thing that we did, we started, I created employee self-help groups where we put in volunteers who will just, keep checking the sites or keep checking the resources and keep updating the others who are in requirement. The first step was this. We are having the employee help groups, which are primarily made from the volunteers from within the organization. Next step that we did was that one of our training institutes, we have a very good training institute in Vasant Kunj, we converted into a COVID care, the level 1 COVID care facility. So we roped in a hospital, and they have brought in their nurses and their doctors, and we created into a COVID care facility, so that the patients which require the isolation, the first stage isolation and treatment, they can be given treatment over there. So that was a very widely appreciated step. We bought our own oxygen cylinders and concentrators, and as a centralized unit, we started, liaising with our employees who needed it, their family members or the employees, and we were dispersing through these self-help groups, the employee help groups. Besides that, we started focusing more and more on the wellness programs, or the programs which would clarify the myths or the misconceptions that the people would have, and teach them what is the requirement, how to help themselves in case of a critical requirement. So these are the basic things that we did initially. After that, now comes the vaccination part. Now we want them all safe. So the government of India has given a mandate, the Civil Aviation Ministry has given a mandate to Airports Authority to ensure that not only our own employees, but all the employees of the stakeholders in civil aviation, whether it is the airline staff or it is the Director General of Civil Aviation Staff or the Bureau of Civil Aviation Staff, everybody is like vaccinated. So we are like liaising with the hospitals and ensuring vaccination of all the civil aviation stakeholders and AI employees. So we have already covered around 70% of our employees with first dose of vaccination pan India. And it's an ongoing process. We are still having the vaccination camps, the dedicated vaccination camps for our employees, their dependents, and the employees of the stakeholders.
Wow. That sounds great. Now, looking at what's going on, and Dr. Suresh Gupta has some question for you. I'll come to you. I have just one or two questions, and then I go to the questions from others. Uh, Now, Nivedita, you know about this women power, hashtag women power, a global movement, as I said. 100,000 women by 2021 on this platform. We have already reached 700,000 or so. 1 million by 2024. When we started, people said, "Are you mad?" I said, "I am mad. I am mad about my things. I love to be mad. I call it romancing with my destiny. I am romancing with my destiny. That's what the madness is, right? Looking at this madness and what this movement is going on in 20 odd countries, I am now available on this show only one Saturday. 3 Saturdays, all these women have taken from me. How do you see women empowerment? What do you think about women empowerment? What do you think about gender equality? What is in your mind? How do you address this issue? As a woman, what do you say on this?
I would say that women are already empowered. It's only for them to recognize that they are empowered. That's my feeling. If you see a person, if you even see a lady who's working on the roadside, she's fetching the bricks or breaking the stones, she's financially independent, she's empowered, she takes care of her own needs. So it's only that they have to feel that they're empowered. Most of the
Wow.
women, even a homemaker, a lady who's a homemaker, she is also empowered. She knows how to get away, how to assert herself in the family. But then yes, some cases, some issues are there. But once the woman recognizes her rights and her, what rights are available, and she is educated and she is having that knowledge, then they're all empowered. just a feeling of being empoweredness is there. There should be there.
Yeah, but then there are countries where tough situation where women still have to go a long way. But there are women needs, but there are Western world also still there are issues about women. So there
For
are
them,
issues.
yes, then for them it is only education and information. That is it. That is what will make them empowered.
Yeah. At the same time, when you say we are already empowered, I believe that, and
Hmm.
I still consider women to be much more productive. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, because I am known as honorable woman in this process of doing this women power programs. I've been titled as a honorable women in this process. My checks sometimes say, hey, you have gone too much into the women folk area. But I believe in this because, as I said, my mom has been a very strong women power, very strong. She has really nurtured us to become strong. When I lost my father, we were just, I was 12, my younger brother 10, my younger sister 8, my elder brother 16. We were kids. It was my mom, and we lost her 2 years back. I remember you, my mom. And she has been biggest to me. And then there have been my sisters, my wife, my colleagues, a lot of colleagues, and they have added a lot of value to me. So therefore, there is a need to really work on this concept. Probably for another 20, 30 years. I may not be around, but this legacy will continue.
So for that, Bakshiji, I personally, as in my own circle, what I feel that if I feel I am empowered, I try to empower those around me. So in my team, whoever women are there, I make sure that they feel empowered. So that is how it works. साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना, एक एक दूसरे को पकड़ के ही आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, एक दूसरे को पकड़ के ही empowered feel कर सकते हैं. So
Milan is laughing on
one who's
Milan in
empowered, make the
Spain,
others feel empowered.
Milani in Spain is laughing on this. She said, wow, what is she talking? So she is again a women power Spain. She does a lot of great work. Wow. Nivedita, now how will you support this movement as a women power? Because you are coming to my shows now, I need to get your support.
Definitely, my support is always there for you. And for the women, yes, like I said, you have to make them feel aware. You have to make them to recognize the power within them. So for that, the interaction and the trainings are needed. You already know that I am also trained in instructional competencies. So I volunteer to help you out and be with you in this mission to make the other women feel empowered. And
Bhavya, please note she has already committed and utilized her knowledge skills for women power. Now,
definitely, anytime.
my last question, Nivedita, your career leader is strong. Whatever you have done, you enjoyed it. Now, how do we see you in next few years? What is Nivedita going to be doing? At the corporate level as well as the community level. Community level, I took some advantage of having you on this show, taking your commitment for the women power. What else do you wish to do?
Well, on the professional front, yes, I am very ambitious. Like my father has taught me from my childhood to be ambitious, and I'm very
Ah,
ambitious. I want to reach great heights, and you will see me in 4 5 years time reach really good heights. And I'm preparing. I'm upgrading myself. I'm continuously studying and upgrading my skills to reach at a position that I aspire to reach. But it will not be restricted to the Airports Authority of India. I'm open to positions, senior leadership positions across the industry or across the organizations. And I'm sure I'll be able to achieve that. I'm working hard for that.
that
And at the
sounds.
community level, as I already committed to you, I am open to supporting the cause of women empowerment. And I'm also already, involved with the animal rights. You met my daughter Ishani. She is totally into supporting animal rights, and she's working on that. And I would like to help her and be with her for that cause. So these are the
Ah,
two things to work hard on.
your father is watching you, Mr. Dogra, my folding hands, and she is really taking your mission forward, feeling proud of her. Nivedita. Nivedita, I need to move on. There are a lot of questions. The first question comes, who was responsible for receiving the world aid at the airport and subsequent distribution to India? We are sure it was a selective government of India than the others. Please share your answer. Dr. Gupta from Washington, D.C. I repeat the question to you, Nivedita.
Yeah, yeah,
Who
tell me.
was responsible for receiving the world aid at the airport and
Mhm.
subsequent distribution in India? We are sure it was a selective government of India than others. Please share your answer. Dr. Gupta is asking.
Well, the world aid, but whatever was received at the airports, it was received by the airport directors, and it has been distributed in the procedure that has been laid down by the Ministry of Civil Aviation in
It went to
consultation with the Ministry of Health. Yes.
Red Cross.
I am not very sure about that because I deal with HR. I'm not really very sure about how it was handled, but it was handled as per the directions of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, which was done in consultation with the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, because we also said a lot of
But
stuff for
I'm
Thailand.
sure I can check that out and I can revert to Dr. Gupta on that.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Gupta. Yeah, Dr. Gupta says she sounds like our future Indra Nui. Wow. I
Oh,
love
thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Dr. Gupta, my best friend. Okay. Now another question, a good question, leadership question. If political leadership were to listen to corporate leadership and community leadership, the solution could be very simple. Sadly, that is not the case. What do you say, Nivedita?
I agree.
You
I
agree.
agree. Yeah.
So you agree that there is a difference between what is going on at community political leadership and the corporate leadership. You agree?
Yeah.
Now, there's a question coming to you from Michigan. The young lady seems to be bright and talking great things. But tell me, why is India becoming a bad name with this second wave? Respond to the question.
I I would say India has become a bad name. Yeah, to some extent, yes. But that is more about because of the pandemic that was not expected. The magnitude was not expected. I don't think any other country was also equally like any other country would also have been in similarly placed circumstance because this the magnitude was just not nobody had expected or imagined that it would be like this. It is a new variant and all our healthcare systems were not prepared for this kind of the number of cases that spontaneously came up. But now if you would see that already the curve is it's on the decline and things are under control now. But at the same time, even though the healthcare system was fast stretched and a number of problems did come up, but the corporates and most of the PSUs and the government agencies have risen to the occasion, and each person and maybe even the small community groups, they have risen to the occasion and they have formed self-help groups and created their own facility for the helping of the people. So bad
I
name.
would Yeah, I think I would like to add, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen around the world who are watching this show, there's no doubt about it, what Nivedita said. And in a population of 1.3 billion people, 300,000 deaths overall during the year is a very small number as compared to USA. And when we look at Italy and Spain and other countries had gone through process last year. But that did not come on the social media much. But India's story has been very highly manipulated on the social media a lot. I am not here to say that things were right, things went very wrong out of hands. As Nivedita rightly said, the second wave was disastrous at once. And one of the doctors said that in case you have 10 people in a family and there's a diarrhea of all the 10 people, so you can't have all the three toilets serving them. So it went bad. I think it could have been, leaders could have proactively, which is a fact of life, and I would like to say leaders could have proactively worked on things which they did not do because of certain central government and federal government, and things were bad. Things went bad. Things went bad. Things went bad. Ladies and gentlemen, then another question is here, which is coming from Global Talent TV. And Nivedita, why you decide to move from operations to human resource and industrial relations? You could have risen much bigger role on operation management.
Yes, that's a question which many people ask me. But at that point of time, I had moved from operations to HR role in around 2001. That was a situation when basically my specialization in business administration was in human resource management. So I did have an aptitude for managing the human resource. But when I had decided to move, it was partly because of my inclination towards human resource management and partly because of the family circumstances. I was having two young children. My younger daughter was just 1 year old, and my elder daughter was sick. She had a childhood asthma and she had some other health issues. And as a mother, I wanted to devote a more, have a more settled lifestyle, so to be able to devote more and more time to her. And when in the airport management job, it was more of shift duties, extended shift duties. We used to have 12-hour shifts. And I also knew that even after having worked in operations, and then if I move to HR department, I gain the experience here, but I have developed myself as an operations person also. So sooner or later, I can again, it's the challenge that you take, you upgrade and you get back to that. So for that, now that again, I have got myself accredited as an international airport professional. So all my trainings are for the operations are also at par. I'm abreast with what is happening in the field also. So I'm open to those areas back again, and there's no issue with that. I'm
Very,
open to any kind of challenging assignment actually.
very great. Now, these days, there's no issue. HR leaders, in fact, become the CEOs of the organization. So that's not an issue. HR is more critical and more tougher than the normal role.
See, the
Being vice.
more diverse roles that you have, the better perspective you have on understanding problems or the employee issues. So having worked in operations, if a person from an operations background or from an air traffic controller, if he comes and explains his problem to me, I am able to understand it better as
Very
compared
good.
to the others who have not ever worked in the operations department.
Okay, let me go to the Zoom now. Who is raising a question? Anybody else? Please raise quickly. I can unmute you and let me have the question. Yes, Dr. Rajendra Jarat, I can unmute you and you can raise your question. Dr. Rajendra Jarat from Pune, well-known director of a business school. You can go ahead and ask the question. Please go ahead. I can unmute you. Okay, and who's there? Sharmila, you want to ask a question? Go ahead and do it. Quick one. Okay. Vasanta from Colombo, you want to ask a question? Unmute yourself. I am ready to unmute you. Go ahead. Yes. Yes. Anybody here want to ask a question? Please unmute yourself. Yeah, Sharmila, you want to ask a question? Can you hear me? You can unmute yourself. I have unmuted you. Okay. Vasanta, Professor Jared. Oh, I think they are not. Kuldeep, you want to ask a question? Whoever is there, let me have you there. Any question? Yes, go ahead. I unmute you. Okay, then I take other questions. I thought I will take from Zoom. Okay, then there's another question which comes from Papni Thakur from Thailand. He says, Nivedita has been in one kind of a job, one organization, and then turned into second organization only. And these days, people change jobs frequently every third year, fourth year, second year. And is that the right way of doing it? He's asking you, Nivedita. People change jobs every 1.5 years, 2 years.
Uh, I would say why a person would change a job. There is 2, 3 reasons a person would change a job. Either he's looking for more money, or he's looking for better job satisfaction, or he's looking for better growth. I managed to get all these 3 things in the organization I'm working with. So I was satisfied with how my career shaped. I wanted some changes and I wanted to upgrade my skills. So I have also done a lot of movement as I've changed from operations department. I went to the HR department. From there, I moved on to the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority, where they are doing the tariff fixation for the aeronautical services. Then I was doing the IT related jobs also. Then again, I moved to the different stations, Lucknow and Bombay, and again back to Delhi. So for me, it is not that I was stagnating in one position. I was moving continuously. I was upgrading. I was improving on myself. So if a person is not getting all that in the job that he is doing, it's okay for him to change and look for the opportunity where he will be getting the recognition or the position or the growth or the money that he's looking for, or maybe
Very,
the challenge.
very wonderful. I think that makes a great sense. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fascinating discussion with this young, bright, dynamic, versatile Nivedita Dubey. Yes, anybody question, please raise. Vasanta, please let me know you want to question. Sharmila, you want to question? Otherwise, I need to move on. Dr. Ajendra Jarat, Kuldeep, you want a question? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it has been a very fascinating discussion with, oh, we are already more than 70 minutes. Oh, so is Rima Nakra available? Rima, I can ask you to do a vote of thanks. Rima, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Good evening, all.
Yeah, Rima, Varsha, let's see Rima for vote of thanks. Can you unmute her video
She's,
also?
she's unmuted, sir.
Video दिखा दो. Let's meet her.
Rima, you can on your video.
Yeah, Rima, go ahead.
Am I visible?
No, no.
Not yet. Anyhow, you can ask the question. We are not able to see you. We thought we'll get you on the screen, but we are not able to get you on the screen. Anyhow, I think you have to upgrade her, isn't it, Varsha?
No, sir. She is already in panelist mode.
Okay.
She can do it herself itself.
She can do herself. Okay, Rima, let's have a vote of thanks from you for our guest of honor this evening.
Good evening, all. As all good things come to end, so is the meeting. I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to Nivedita. And we are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, Nivedita. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
We
And
are
thank you,
also
Bakshi.
thankful to, we are thankful to Bakshi sir also for his enthusiastic support, as always.
Thank you, Rima, for joining, and thanks for this vote of thanks. And ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very great experience to be with our guest of honor, Nivedita, who shared her leadership excellence as a woman power and very simple, elegant way of doing it. As I said, I know the family, Pankaj, Nivedita, and the two lovely daughters. One I met in Toronto and one I met in India. And I wish the family good luck. I wish Nivedita good luck in your, professional pursuits. And I would like to invite Mr. D. and Dogra Saab, your last word and you can unmute. We can see you on the, we can get you on the screen. Here we unmute you, Mr. Dogra. Are you there? Dogra Sahab, aap hain? Dogra Sahab, can you unmute? I think he is not able to.
He is not able to.
Oh, he is able to unmute. Yes, Dogra Sahab.
I'm thankful to you all. This girl is doing very well.
Fantastic.
That's all.
बहुत खुशी हुई आपसे मिलके डोगरा साहब. It's passionate daughter of yours. She is making headways and headlines and feeling proud of knowing her. And thank you very much for joining. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, what a fascinating talk. Those who have missed will get a YouTube link or go to the Facebook and can watch it later. And this has been a great talk, great discussion about journey of excellence of a women power, a leadership personality who is working in a population of 30,000 employees around and making an impact. I would like to thank you so much, Nivedita, for your time to be on my show and your commitment to support us on hashtag Women Power, a global movement. Varsha noted down, once this lockdown is over, we must meet her, we must greet her, and we must get her involved into this movement.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you very much. And
Thank
thanks,
you,
Varsha. Thanks, Varsha, for supporting all the time. Good luck. And
Thank you, sir.
all the best to Nivedita. And ladies and gentlemen, whoever has joined, great, good morning. Have a great day. And yes, Dr. Gupta, you can enjoy, have your breakfast, because I know this is the time for you to go to the hospital. Yes, I can see from Michigan lady, Yon, ready to go. And Jennifer in Kale, yes, I know this is great evening. Oh, you're reaching towards late evening now. And wish you all the best and great good luck. And let's be over from the strange days. Soonest, we want to rock in life. We want to meet. We want to greet. And all the best and good luck to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Bakshi. Thank you for this opportunity. And I thank all the participants who have been listening to me. Thank you so much. Thanks all, everybody.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you.